This whole thing started like most things do. I was needing money. Now, in hindsight, probably not the best idea, but it was my only idea. It wasn't until later that day I found out about my residence being broke into.
Hello.
Hi, we were wondering if we could take a look at Mr. Fremont's Weeks house.
Sure thing. Follow me.
Alright. Here it is, room number 5. Good to go.
That was easy. This guy has a lot of crap.
Hey, make yourself useful and find out how much this is.
$500 in bonds and $1,200 in mining stock.
He hit the jackpot.
Alright, let's get these and go.
Okay, let's go.
Working at Union Station in downtown Kansas City, Missouri was a steady job, but it didn't pay much. One day I overheard someone talking about a mail-in lottery service. I thought it was a pretty good idea and decided to try it too. Turns out you can make a good little chunk of side dough doing it. I got pretty big in my opinion. Well, anyways, on December 21st, 1911, I was working at the station when this fancy police officer came walking up.
Hey, do you know where I can find Mr. Fremont Weeks?
That's me, sir.
Ain't you something?
Excuse me?
You're under arrest for sending lottery tickets to the mail.
What are you. What? No!
Well, I knew I was in trouble, so I got myself a good fancy lawyer. He was young, but he worked at one of them big law firms.
So, the police didn't have a search warrant to get into your home.
What's a search warrant?
The Fourth Amendment says that the police have to get permission from a judge before searching a citizen's home. The police didn't have permission to search your house, which violates your Fourth Amendment, so we are going to go by your house and see what's missing.
I guess.
All rise.
Court is in session. You may now be seated.
These letters from Mr. Katz were found on a search of Mr. Weeks' room and clearly talked about the said lottery tickets. This letter written to Mr. Katz from Mr. Weeks is clearly talking about lottery tickets and was found in an envelope with tickets themselves.
Objection!
Yes?
That evidence was obtained without a warrant.
It's Trista's location on it.
Evidence is evidence, no matter how it was obtained.
You're violating this man's Fourth Amendment rights.
Objection
I
denied.
was found guilty of mailing lottery tickets, but that lawyer wasn't happy.
This isn't right. Your Fourth Amendment rights have been violated.
Well, you're the lawyer. You figure it out.
We'll take it to the Court of Appeals. I'm sure they will see reason. They didn't have a search warrant, so they broke in and stole from this man. This evidence violates his Fourth Amendment rights.
The evidence clearly shows this boy broke the law. The letter, the lottery tickets, all show that.
But the evidence you refer to was obtained illegally. It was taken without a search warrant, so using this evidence violates Mr. Weeks.
It doesn't matter how the evidence came about, just that it exists. The boy shouldn't have broken the law either, but he did.
Give it up, boy.
So once again, I was found guilty. However, my lawyer wasn't going to stop until the justice prevailed. He wrote up a petition to the Supreme Court, and by some holy stroke of luck, that petition got accepted. On December 2nd and 3rd of 1913, my lawyer and I went to argue my case up in Washington. You could feel the power coming off of the judges. They sure did drag their feet on making that decision. February 24th of 1914 is when they finally came to a conclusion. We have ruled on the case of Weeks vs. United States. We have concluded that the evidence obtained in the search of his home and used in trial of that case is in violation of Mr. Weeks' Fourth Amendment right because they did not use a search warrant. The Fourth Amendment right is the right to feel secure in one's home, person, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizure. Therefore, the evidence used in the trial of Mr. Weeks that was obtained without a search warrant must be thrown out since it was obtained illegally. We issue a new trial in the district courts of Western Missouri. We've issued there to be a new trial in the Missouri district courts on the case of Mr. Fremont Weeks. Without that evidence, there was no case, and I was found not guilty. My defense lawyer was thrilled, claiming we were the first to question not just the evidence, but how it was obtained. My case was the first where they used the exclusionary rule, which forces courts not to use illegally obtained evidence. So I guess all my troubles did some good for someone out there, just like me.